It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking college hoops headed to Nashville for the SEC tournament where 9 seed Mississippi State is taking on 8 seed Kentucky. We've got a promo code. The code is MAD for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. But the numbers we're concerned with, Kentucky is -2 here. The total is 131. We've got Sean Higgs joining us to break this one all down for us. Sean, short number between the 8 and 9 seed, but obviously you've got the Blue Bloods in Kentucky. Coach Cal, 23-4 all time in the SEC tournament. But granted, this is not the Kentucky team that we've seen in years past. Initial thoughts when it comes to these two teams?
Yeah, slightly different as he's got a 9-15 record. I'd say reversed it, but even that would be considered a down year considering what Coach Cal usually has. And unlike Duke, who seemed to turn their season around in their 2 tournament games here, this Kentucky line, it was 2.5, and you kind of want to take Kentucky, right? They definitely better athletes, coach, everything kind of points to Kentucky here. And Mississippi State, they've kind of feasted on some bad teams here. A&M, they beat them twice. South Carolina, these are like the bottom feeders. They beat Iowa State, who's like 3-20 on the year. Best win, I guess, is at Mississippi. I'm still taking them. As bad as it sounds, the line drops. The money's going to come in on Kentucky either way. Kentucky won 78-73 in overtime win. So I look at it, though. And the other day I said, let's take Boston College here over Duke. I'm getting double digits. Duke's lost 3 in a row. Kentucky, I'm thinking the same thing. Like, you got a good team that's dominated for years, kind of down. The team's always going to play up to the better team. That's just the way it is. You always got a target on your back when you're an elite squad. You always get the other team's A-plus game. You battled them to an overtime loss. You got a couple wins over your belt, granted against bad teams. But Kentucky's, the record speaks for itself. They're 9-15. They've been up and down all year. The 2 screams, low-hanging fruit, let's take Kentucky and the Wildcats because they're a good name. But I'm going to go against that. Mississippi State, dogging it up here. I'll take a money line too. Take the points here with the Bulldogs.
Here's something that really surprised me about Mississippi State, because initially I thought Kentucky, just because I think they are trending in the right direction. Their last game of the season beating South Carolina 92-64. But I was thinking, Kentucky's really big, really long, really athletic. They can probably just win on that alone. But Mississippi State is almost right behind them when it comes to total team height average. Kentucky, one of the tallest teams in the nation, 5th overall in the nation. And then you've got Mississippi State, who is 6th in the nation at average team height. So they're also a really big squad with a lot of international players that have really done big things for Mississippi State. Granted, not a great team overall, but we're talking about for this individual matchup. And then a question I have for you: how much do you follow the money when it comes to March and college hoops? Because I feel like during the season, it's not as big of a topic, but when we're coming down to the wire in these conference tournaments, do you look at those line movements more closely?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. I think you always kind of look at them because the people who are moving those lines are not the average kind of bettors. They're not fans of the school. They're not just, hey, the game's on ESPN or ACC Network or whatever the heck they're watching on. That's not who's moving these lines. So like this game, it moves half a point. And you're thinking, who's moving this game half a point? Is it that much value? Is Kentucky's winning this one by 3 instead of 2.5? You got to get it to 2 in case they push. That's not just a random kind of move. Any kind of line move you should definitely take notice of, especially when we're getting out of these conferences and going to like a smaller conference. And that's where it gets tricky because, you're looking at some Big Sky game or something like, wow, this line moved like 2 points. And you're thinking, I'm going to follow the money on that. And next thing you know, that was like just a juke move by somebody putting 5,000 on a game. And it's a small school, so they move it. And then the other team runs away by 37 points or something. So big conference like this, though, yeah, I'll definitely pay more attention to that. You mentioned their length and their ability here. This team's still good. They both went 8-10 and 8-9 respectively in the conference, which they played the pretty much same teams. It wasn't like half played one schedule, and they played pretty much the same schools. So, this line looks fishy. It came down a point. I don't know. I'll take the bait. I'm going to be that guppy on the hook right here with Mississippi State.
Do you like that total at all? 131?
I like it. I think it's an overplay here. I think it'll be an up and down kind of game. You got 2 teams with nothing to lose. Kentucky's looking to play itself into the NCAAs by winning the SEC, and Mississippi State's looking to beat up a team that's dominated for a decade. And you hung touch for them the first time. They think they could beat them. So I think up and down pace. I don't think not a low scoring game. Both teams into the 70s here.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for SEC Hoop Stock here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Sean Higgs. As always, Sean, thanks for joining us.